Hello beautiful people, welcome again back to my channel. So today guys, I'm going to be showing you the sewing process of making this very beautiful piece. So you can see here is when we have our pattern paper already on the fabric, and we had a lot of pieces afterwards, you can see. And of course at the end, after joining it all together, we recreated this beautiful top right here. So this is what I'm going to be showing you here today, and I have my fabric as you can see. So this is my pattern paper before we did all the magic. So I'm just going to go ahead now and place all these patterns on my fabric. So mind you already have this linked up in the description box. So this is what we did in our previous video. In case you've not seen it, you can go ahead and watch it. So right now I place my pattern on my fabric, and just like I said in that previous video, I'm just going ahead to extend it to my desired length. The reason why working the pattern is interesting. So I'm going ahead to extend it. Of course, I'm also going ahead to add some extra inches right there, especially on that cup part, okay, because we're going to be sewing it, so we need to add that inch to about 0.5 inches, which is what I'm doing right now, okay. And the same thing I also did for the back piece. I'm just going ahead to what carefully cut all this piece together so you can see it all. So just going ahead to do that now, and so once that is done, then we can now start joining what our piece together. So you can see like I said, I extended it to my desired length. Just carefully take your time and cut it all through. So once I'm done, I'm also going to be doing the same thing for my lining. So whatever I do for my main fabric, I'm also going to go ahead and do that for my lining. So you can see I'm cutting every single piece out, both the cup part, you can see. Then for the 3-part corset part, I'm using this plain fabric, and of course you can see I've also added my extra 0.5 inches all the way around it, okay. Yeah, so this is just how I want to mix my prints together. So it's all ready now, both the front and the back. So I'm going to be ironing my interfacing to this, and I'm going to be doing the same thing for my lining as well. Then for this wording, I'm going to be cutting it out for the corset cup itself, so that I can give it that structure, right? Yeah, so this is just all I'm going to do now, and I'm going to come back and show you all the pieces there. And here guys, you can see we have it all ready. I've gone ahead to iron my interfacing all the way, both the lining and the fabric, and I did the same cutout for my wording as well for the cup. You can see this, the 3-part corset piece. All right, so I have everything ready. So what I'm going to go ahead now is to, join this entire piece together. So the reason why I told you then that it's very important to make sure that you label it, okay, so that you don't mix it. Also, once you label it, don't worry, you definitely get everything right. You'll be able to know the one that should match up with the other, okay, once you label it, okay. Yeah, so I'm just going ahead to join the main corset now. You can see this. So joining the main part, the lower parts first, I already have the cup coming out now. Then I can now go ahead and attach the upper part to it. So this makes it the 3-piece corset, okay, or the 3-part corset. So going ahead to do this. So the thing is that you can actually sew this up and sew the wording separately before joining it, or you can choose to just attach it as well for every single piece before you do that, okay. So like I said, whatever you do here, you're also going to do for the lining itself. So you can see this is how it's going to look like once you're done. I just use my pin to demonstrate this now. I can see how this has turned out already. The cup is already coming out. This is looking all beautiful already, right? Yeah, so this is what we're going to do. I'll do this for the other piece, the other part of the cup. Then of course I'll do the same thing for the lining as well, okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to take my time and do this. There's no rushing, okay, when it comes to this part. So once you get it right, then you definitely have it looking all good, okay. Yeah, so just like I said, I'll go ahead now and attach my wordings to it, okay. So if you want to do it separately, you can do it and later attach it, but I'm going to be joining mine to every single piece, just like you see me demonstrating right now. So I will join mine to every single piece before I now do the joining, okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to take my time and finish all this up, okay. And for the back piece, I'm going to be doing that as well. So this is for the main body of the dress. I'll go ahead and join it with 0.5 3.5 inches, so that we can have that space ready to attach the cup. Okay, I'm going to do that, and for the lining as well. And this is for the back piece. We're going to do the same thing. They'll also turn it out with the lining. But before we turn it out with the lining for this particular one, the back one, remember it's going to have a loop at the back. So I'm going to cut out a loop of about 3 to 3.5 inches. So I'm going to use 3 inches. But before I cut this out, I have to, sew this like so. You can see how I'm holding my bias. I have to fold it into two and sew a very long strap. Okay, yeah. So then before I now start cutting out, but I'm just using this to demonstrate. So once you sew that, you attach it like so, then you now sew your lining. So once you're done sewing, it will now be protruding out this way, like the way I'm showing you right now. It's as easy as that. So you just take your time, attach the number of loops that you want. Totally depends on what you want, but make sure you leave your seam allowance at the top of the top and also at the bottom. And here, guys, once you're done, you can see I've gone ahead to attach my corset cup here. You can see how this is looking. And so for the wording part, you can see how this looks. I've gone ahead to attach my wording to it. But before I do the final journey, because I'm going to be attaching this bias, okay, so I have to fix it first, okay, and before I now attach it. So I'm just trying to create what we already have on the thumbnail right there. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and finish this one up much later. Then also I'm going to go ahead and also attach my bias tool on my main piece. Okay, I'll be doing that much later, but right now it's for me to just go ahead and adjust. Just like I said in the previous video, there's room for adjustment. So I'm marking out 3 inches now on that basque part. I'm just trying to reduce it because that part is wider, because I've already joined it, so it's time for me to make my adjustment. So looking at it now, I feel it's still wide, so I'm just going ahead to adjust it. I took away about 1 inches more, you can see, and opening it up, it's looking more like it's right now. So by the time I sew the sides with the lining, okay, it's going to give me what I want. So now that I've adjusted that, then I can now go ahead and attach my cup. But before I attach my cup, I'm also going to fix in my bias. So just go ahead and fix your bias depending on any form of design you want to create. So like I said, I'm just recreating what I already have on the thumbnail there. So it's quite similar. So I'm just placing my bias, whichever way I want to fix it. So you're going to be acting your boning as well. You can also fix your boning. Mind you, the size of your boning should also match up with the size of the bias that you're going to use. So once that is done, then I can now attach my cup. So you can see, just make sure that the joining of the cup aligns with the joining on the main piece. Okay, so I'm just going to finish all this up, and on the lining as well, then you see the next step. And here, guys, I'm gonna ahead to do that so you can see the lining. You can see how beautiful this is looking already. This is coming out nice. So I'm gonna ahead to fix my bias all the way. You can see this now. So there's still room for some adjustment there. So you can see on that part, I also had to double the interfacing there, so just to give that part some structure. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and trim off the necessary excesses. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now, just trimming off the excesses at the top and on the side there. Just make sure you take your time, to trim it off. It's important to do this before you do the final, sewing up. Okay, yeah, so you can see I'm doing the same thing for the lining as well. So once I'm done achieving that, then I'll go ahead now and sew it off, lining to the fabric, right side facing each other. I'll go ahead and sew at the top, then I'll also sew by the sides, then sew on the back part there and also on the bottom there. So at the side, I'm going to leave like 4 inches where I'll be turning everything out to the front. Okay, yes, and for the back piece, I'm also going to, of course, do the same thing as well. Just like I told you, I'm going to attaching my loop. Okay, so I must have attached my loop before I now use my lining to turn it for the back piece. So I'll go ahead and finish all this up now. So after that, I'll show you the next step. And here, guys, we're done. This is it, guys. Looking all beautiful. I've gone ahead to sew. So I used my hemming gum, in between that copper just to make my lining to really sit very well inside. You can see how beautiful this is looking. I love this already. So if you're going to be attaching the boning to it, you must have done that at this stage before the hemming there. And you can see this is the back piece. So for the back, I'm just trying to attach this piece, okay? So in case you want to close up the back, you don't want your skin to show. So this is what I'm doing. This is about 9 to 10 inches, okay? So I'm going to be sewing this 4 inches inward, like you see me demonstrating. I'm just going to fix it inward and sew about 4 inches inward. Then you go ahead and sew on top of it. So I'm using my pin now, to demonstrate this, okay? This is how it will look. So once you're done, you can see this now. So if you don't want your skin to show, this is the perfect way to do it. But if you want your skin to show, you can still hide it inward and still what, put in your loop there, okay? So totally depends on what you want. So this is it, guys. So after that, you can now go ahead and join the side. So just like I'm demonstrating with my pin, I'll just go ahead and sew up the side. And guys, believe it or not, this top is ready, guys. This is it, as easy as that. So we're done here, and it's good to go if you choose to rock it this way. But definitely we're going to be adding what a sleeve to it, a puff sleeve to it. And so this is it, whether you want to show your skin or you don't want to show your skin. That totally depends on what you want. And so this is looking beautiful. So we're going to go ahead now and attach our sleeve. But before we do that, I'm going to cut that out. So it's going to be a puff sleeve. Totally depends on what you want. So I'll be working with the circumference of my bicep. And what I have here now is about 15 inches. That's what I'm going to use to cut the amount of fabric. So depending on how puffy you want this to be, I want to multiply by 3 inches. So you can multiply by 2. Okay, you can multiply by 2.5, but I'm multiplying by 3, which gives me 45. So I'm going ahead to cut out what 45 inches long. Then the length totally depends on you. I want mine to be more, bogus here, not exactly like what we have on the thumbnail. So I have about 45 by 22. That's what I have. And I have it in 2 pieces, as you can see. So I'll make a casing of 1.5 on the lowest part and on the up part as well. That's just what I'm going to do. The casing, then after you make the casing, then you now attach your elastic. You can see it's going to bring everything all together, okay? I love this particular puff sleeve because it's just straightforward. You can see this. So this is the tiny elastic I'm going to use, okay? I'll just go ahead and finish this up, then attach my elastic. And once that is done, of course, this is it, guys. Like I said, this is straightforward. There is nothing difficult here, okay? Just a straight cut piece, and create a casing at the top and the bottom and attach your elastic. That's all we did here. You can see this is it. This is quite voluminous here. So totally depends on if you want your length to be lesser than this, you can also do that. So the next thing I'll do now is to attach this to the main top itself. So just locate the part where you have joining on your puff, then I'll attach it with where we have joining by the side of the top. You can see this now. So what I'm going to do now is to sew. So I'm just going to sew with 2 inches. You can sew 2 inches, you can sew 1 inch, depending on you. So I'm just going to sew from that joining there. I'll sew 1 inches on both ends, okay? Then the same thing I'm also going to do for the other side. You can see locating that joining. Once you attach it, just sew 1 inches from that joining part to one side and also 1 inches on the other side. So at the end of the day, you have a 2 inches worth sewed there, okay? That's just what you're going to do. Just make sure you top stitch it properly, and that will be it, guys. So the beauty of this particular puff is the fact that you can actually adjust this to make it look like an totally off the shoulder, or you can also stretch this out and make it look like a sleeve itself, okay? That is just the beauty of it. I love this so much. And guys, this is it, guys. You can't believe it. We're done with this, as easy as that. Thank you so much, guys. Like, we've come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys for joining me. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to do that, okay? And remember also to on your notification bell so that you always get notified every single time I upload my weekly videos on this channel. Don't forget to do that, guys, and also remember to like and share with friends. I'll really appreciate this a whole lot. Please, this will go a long way to help this channel. I'll really appreciate this, guys. Please go ahead and like and share with friends. So you can just go ahead and rock this top the way you want. Just go ahead, wear, and of course fix the strap all through the loops you've created. Thank you so much, guys. See you on the next one. Have a wonderful day and bye.